Hey everyone! So with the new Sylveon nerfs, I wanted to see what builds would work and what builds wouldn't. I don't know if this is the strongest build, but this is definitely the most fun build that I found to play with. So when I first saw Eevee's design, I always thought of Ahri from League of Legends. This is because of her skill Mystical Fire, which automatically locks onto enemies and targets them. So this reminded me of a very off-meta build where Ahri would be built as a ranged carry, using her mobility to dodge enemy skills and kite enemy champions. Because on release, Sylveon's special attack scalings were so high, you always wanted to use Wise classes to maximize her damage output. She could always one-shot enemy Pokemon, so there was no need to look at other alternatives. However, now that she can no longer one-shot enemy Pokemon, it might be time to look at other builds. Probably a more sustained build so she can continue fighting and putting out damage. I will be looking at the numbers properly later, but for now I'm just having fun playing Sylveon. So in this video I'm running Muscle Band, Razor Claw and Focus Band. The idea is to stay in the fight as long as possible, trying to cast as many Mystical Fires to reposition and also proc the Razor Claw. She actually has the third highest attack out of all the ranged attackers. So the proc from Razor Claw is actually not as bad as you think it is. And because Mystical Fire reduces cooldown whenever it lands, you do get a jump more often than you think, meaning that she can continue jumping and continue outputting damage. I was late to the bees because I really wanted to learn my Mystical Fire before the bees came up. However, we did manage to pick up the Talonflame to make up for it. But you can see right here how using the Mystical Fire to jump around is really helping me, even if it doesn't do as much damage as it used to. It lets me continue putting out my auto attacks to output damage, and with the Muscle Band I do a surprising amount of damage with my auto attacks. So I think this build is really good for people who like playing Cinderace and Ninetales, especially with the Aura Veil build, because the feeling it gives you is actually quite similar. Of course the raw spell damage from this build is a lot less from the Hyper Voice, which is why I have to make a retreat here, and I'm definitely not ballsy enough to want to try and engage her with half my life. However, after taking the berry, I feel like I can take her with the mobility from Mystic Fire and the extra damage from the Razor Claw. I mean, there's not really much she can do when her Hyper Voice forces her to point in a certain direction. That said, I spent way too much time sitting in her Hyper Voice. I should have run down instead of up, and that's what leads me to getting taken out by the Talonflame. I'm sure if I survived the aerobatics, I could have Mystic Fired away to survive that gank, maybe even turning it around and killing the Talonflame in return. I'm also running Draining Kiss instead of Calm Mind because I want the sustain to stay in the fight as long as possible. In higher level play, you probably would take Calm Mind just to block a spell. But timing the Calm Mind to block the spell that you want is a bit too hard for me right now, so I'm happy to keep the sustained healing from the Draining Kiss. The name of the game here is to be as mobile as possible, trying to stay at the edges of the fight and dodge their skills with Mystical Fire. I see a chance here to kill the Sylveon with my Mystical Fire, so I go for it. The moment I see the Talonflame come in, I throw my Draining Kiss and Mystical Fire. Usually this would mean that I can sustain while keeping my distance, however it looks like Fly breaks the Draining Kiss, which is really awkward, but it's good to know for future reference. So after scoring, I put some damage down on the Ivysaur, but I see the enemy Sylveon, so I make a run for it. I make sure to attack the Ordino on my way back just so that I can try to get some more farm. The Sylveon seems to have a grudge against my Crustle, so I take advantage of that and hit him from the side. I throw my Draining Kiss at the Sylveon to heal, and then I dodge the Razor Leaf with the Mystical Fire, picking up an easy kill on the Venusaur. My Draining Kiss was back, so I actually wasn't worried about dying there. Not to mention I have my Unite move, which gives me a shield and I would have been able to wreck him, but because the Dreadnought was up I didn't want to use it. So Dreadnought is up, I see my Crustle coming down. I know that the enemy Sylveon must be coming down as well since they died around the same time. So I try to sustain here by using my Draining Kiss and Mystical Fire. I probably should have held my Mystical Fire there so I can jump in on the Sylveon the moment she comes in. I see that she uses Hyper Voice way too early, which means she has nothing to stop me from jumping onto her. You can see the amount of damage I'm able to put out. Although it's not comparable to what it was before, it's still a sizable amount, and it is a consistent amount of damage. This is where I learned that Mystical Flying after someone who eject button doesn't keep them in range. So I probably should have just eject button from the beginning and then taken her down with auto attacks. While we're having fun in the bottom lane, it looks like they managed to take the Rotom at the top lane. The enemy Sylveon's trying to be cute here, but we just walk away like nothing happened. This is probably why I actually don't like going Hyper Voice, mainly because I hate being locked in a direction and you can't end it early. Not to mention you're losing a lot of damage not being able to auto attack during Hyper Voice. I take out the Pikachu on my way up to the Rotom, then I see the Talonflame and take him out as well. One cool thing about the Mystic Fire is that it actually won't go for wild Pokemon unless you attack the wild Pokemon first. That's why you don't have to worry about using it too early, as it starts to cool down and you get to save it for the Pokemon that you want to hit. So considering the time, the Dreadnought should be up in about a minute, and I should really start thinking about making my way down. However, as always, I find it really hard to say no to the farm. I make a mistake here by Mystic Firing towards the Pikachu, not seeing the Talonflame. It would have been much better for me to use the Mystic Fire to dodge the Talonflame's fly. I'm forced to use my Unite move here if I want to continue fighting, and I probably could have used my Draining Kiss a lot sooner so that it comes off cooldown a lot sooner. However, because of my mobility and the damage I'm able to put out, I'm able to clean up all 3 Pokemon. I find that Sylveon has a lot of sustain and safety built into her kit. Between Draining Kiss and your Unite move, you have so much healing, it's really hard to kill her unless you kill her in one go. I don't know what the enemy Ivysaur is doing here in our center area. Probably not the best play they could have made because the Dreadnought is going to be up really soon, but we managed to take him down. Speaking of killing Sylveon in one go, Absol is really good at that. I mean, even if you Mystic Fire away, he can just Night Slash back onto you because he has 2 charges. Sylveon would probably be forced to use her Unite move the moment that Absol comes in, just so that she can get the invulnerability and also the shield after she comes out of it. So this Dreadnought is pretty much free because they're not here. They probably knew that we were stronger than them and it wasn't worth fighting for the Dreadnought. So what they're probably going to do is try to go for the Zapdos. That would be their best play right now, is to try to force us to use our Unite moves while saving theirs up. That way they have the best chance of winning the fight at Zapdos with the power of Buddy Barrier. You can see how I'm using Mystical Fire to dodge around, but you can't dodge Slowbro's Unite move. Slowbro uses his Unite move here. He might have it up by the time Zapdos comes back. He probably uses it so that his team can get away, but it looks like the Venusaur and the Sylveon's coming back in for another fight. Crossow and Blastoise both use their Unite moves, but we managed to take them down and break the point. I just need a little bit more farm to get my Unite move up, and because Sylveon learns her skills so early, I don't actually need to hit level 13 to upgrade my skills. So I eat a Solar Beam to the face here, and we're staying way too long, so I throw my Draining Kiss while I run away. I don't think I need to go back to base because I believe I can heal up enough with just Draining Kiss. I probably should have Draining Kiss before using Mystic Fire just so I can heal up a little bit more. Looking around the map, I can see that the enemy team's busy with the Rotom at the top lane, and our Crustle is going down to defend the bottom. I think about going back to the base to heal, but I decide to go to the bottom lane to help out the Crustle to kill the Venusaur. Crustle lands a really good Rock Tomb here, and the Venusaur tries to throw the Solar Beam, but I dodge it with Mystic Fire. I also managed to jump over Crustle's wall there, which is really good. It makes me wonder if I can use Mystic Fire to jump over Mr. Mime barriers, because I can also see Mr. Mime being able to wreck a Sylveon. I see the enemy team trying to make a play at top, but we managed to clean them up. I make a chase on the Pikachu because I want to see what happens. If this was a ranked game, you probably shouldn't do this. You should always go for the safest option, but because this is a normal game and I want to limit test the Sylveon, I want to see what happens. I start the fight by throwing Draining Kiss because I'm expecting to take damage. Seeing Talonflame use Fire, I use Mystic Fire to jump away. Our Absol destroys the Venusaur, and Talonflame takes out our Absol. I get revenge for the Absol by killing the Talonflame and I turn around for the Pikachu. Once again, I start off with the Draining Kiss. Because I'm chasing after the Pikachu, it means I'll always be in range for the Draining Kiss. The enemy Sylveon uses Hyper Voice to make us back off the point, and because the Venusaur is here, we decide to back off. Slowbro's dunking points at bottom and it's only 10 seconds left until Zapdos spawns. They manage to take down the Blastoise and our Crustle is doing Crustle things. I jump towards the middle intending to go for Zapdos, but I see most of the teams at the top, so I make my way up to help the Venusaur. Because everyone's accounted for, we don't have to head to Zapdos right now. Once again, I start the fight by Draining Kiss and then Mystic Firing towards the Venusaur. Pikachu comes in, making me miss the kill on the Venusaur, forcing me to use a Unite move because I took too much damage from his Thunderstorm. I managed to take him down after using my Unite move and go for the chase with the increased move speed to chase down their Sylveon. I force the Unite move and she throws her Hyper Voice at me, forcing me to eject button away. When my Mystic Fire comes back up, I jump towards her, and I managed to pick up the kill as the Venusaurs join the fight. At this point, I'm using Draining Kiss and Mystic Fire off cooldown. I probably shouldn't have Mystic Fire towards the Venusaur and should have angled it away from him, as I'm just needlessly putting myself in danger there. We destroy their outer point and continue pushing for the Pikachu. Even though I'm low, I have a 3 level advantage on him, so I'm not too worried. Especially since I have Draining Kiss healing me as I chase him. The Talonflame there is a bit scary, but I managed to get out because he missed his fly. The enemy team surrenders, we get the Zapdos, and that's the end. So is Sylveon strong? Kind of. I think she does a lot better against special attackers than against physical attackers. She definitely has a lot less damage output, so you're gonna struggle against Pokemon like Crustle or Snorlax. However, I found because she gets special defense, she does really well against special attackers, and she can always dodge their skills with Mystical Fire. And because they're attackers, they usually have a lot less HP than usual, meaning that you usually win the trade if you can dodge their skills. This is even more true if you're against a melee Pokemon who has no way to jump in on you after you use your Mystic Fire to get away. If you like these types of videos, please like and subscribe. I'm currently working on a guide on Sylveon where I look at her stats and scalings, and I'll be putting that out as soon as I can.